Welcome to the Taking the Lead podcast, where we empower people to be unstoppable. I'm Christina Hepner with my co-hosts Leslie Hoskins and Timothy Cuneo. So it is the new year, and we have taken quite a bit of time off of recording because the holidays and our schedules, just a crazy time. So we have to catch up on what's been happening.
Oh my goodness, do we? Happy 2025, everyone. Happy New Year. We obviously have to get right into it. Yeah, Timothy.
Come on, Christina.
That's
What's going on with you?
Right.
All right. So Johnny and I got engaged.
Yay!
Party.
Yes, we are getting married in this new year in 2025. So,
Okay, you can jump right to that. Tell us the story. I mean, the synopsis, obviously. I've heard the story several times. It's fantastic.
Yes.
So give us like the short abbreviated version.
Yeah, he did a really good job. I cried.
Yeah.
Short, sweet, simple to the point. He told me we were doing something else. He took me to a park near, actually not too far from the Leader Dog campus that had like a lake, and it was really pretty. It was fall colors, and he had a picnic blanket and a picnic basket. And when I opened the basket and started reading the note cards that he had telling our story, he went to different places and took pictures of that we've spent time. And he had a mute song that we like playing in the background. And of course, I was a bawling mess. And then he had a photographer there. So the photographer took pictures of us. And then when we went back to our house, our families were there to celebrate.
He did fantastic. He checked all the boxes.
Yes.
What a great proposal.
Job.
Yes.
Good job, Johnny. Good boy.
He should get a cookie because he did such a good job. It was so romantic, so thoughtful and personal, and making sure that your family was involved in a piece of it too. And the ring, folks, is stunning. It is absolutely gorgeous. So congratulations. We're very excited for you.
Yes. So what's been going on with you guys?
Well, nothing in comparison. Timothy, what about you? Anything exciting going on with you?
Just life. I mean, got through the holidays alive. Thank God. I mean, it's cold down here in the South.
Okay.
You know, it's 55 degrees today. I'm freezing. Other than that, looking forward to 2025. I'm always, you hit the reset button, you get to hit the reset button and do things differently, hopefully, and make your life better. That's what my goal is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the holidays were great. It was stressful as always, as you can imagine. We hosted several holiday functions at our house, some of them too close together. Then, so we all learned some things, like maybe don't host Thanksgiving and then Christmas the same week. Those are only a couple days apart, and turns out it's a lot of work. So walked away learning that, but we had a great time, great holiday. And I'm excited for 2025. I think we have so many good things happening. It's exciting to hear Christina's planning already, and dates and venues. And I love, living through her and her stories. So just really, really good things.
Yeah. Lots of good things in 2025.
Congratulations, Christina. We've been waiting for this, 2-3 years now?
Well,
2 years.
We've only been together for a little over 2 years, so not 3.
I know, but it's very exciting. And yes, congratulations, Johnny. We know you're an avid listener, so we're super excited and proud to welcome you to the Leader Dog family.
Hey, Johnny, give me a call. I can tell you when you go on your honeymoon. Come on, let me be part of it. Plan it out for you.
So I'm sure this has now become a wedding podcast, so we'll be giving updates every week. No, absolutely not. But we do have an exciting list of guests lined up for the 2025 year, and starting off very strong into 2025. Our guest today is bringing a very unique perspective, and we have had her on our hit list for a while, so it's exciting to get her here and in studio.
Yes, Amy Rose Bonanno is a Leader Dog team member and also a Leader Dog client.
Amy Rose, glad you're on the podcast. She's one of my favorite people up there, Leslie. Christina. She puts food in front of me.
Yeah.
So she's important in my life.
Absolutely.
Travis, can you tell more about yourself?
Hi, everyone. Congratulations, Christina.
Thank you.
And I just love the way Timothy says certain words, like my guide dog's name.
Yeah.
He called
Caramella.
Her name is actually Caramello, like the candy. So anyway, that's my little nickname for her sometimes, and with a Southern accent.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Tell me about myself. I have been working now with Leader Dogs since towards the end of March, which has been a great honor. But to tell you my journey as a guide dog client, just in general, has been since 2019 when I started an application with another guide dog school. And it was about a year. And then the world went crazy and COVID happened. And so I got a guide dog later in 2020. And unfortunately, a year and a quarter in with that dog, that did not work out. And then I honestly remember watching a video. One of the first videos I ever watched was a Leader Dog video about the prison program. And I went looking for it. Didn't remember the name of the school, but then I saw it. I heard it on there. And I applied and got my first Leader Dog. And unfortunately, it did not work out again. She just couldn't handle it. She was actually a prison puppy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the joke is that she was institutionalized and couldn't handle the real world. But she was wonderful. She just couldn't handle the world is busy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, a lot of dogs, a lot of distractions. And so you start to question yourself at this point. Is it me? What am I doing wrong?
Sure.
And I've been listening to the podcast since the beginning of 22. And then started listening to some of the random podcasts that I had skipped before, and heard one with a young lady who said her first 2 dogs did not work out. And you don't hear that story too often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And something that she said really stuck with me. She said, if you think that it works, then go for it. So I tried one more time, and thank God I did, because I have an amazing guide dog now. My trainer, Jamie, snatched her up from me. And I just recently found out she was actually going to be snatched up by another trainer. So I'm glad I got her.
Yeah, sometimes there's some internal fights going on for some of these dogs.
Yeah. And she's pretty popular. She was one of the sponsored puppies.
Yes.
And her puppy raiser is pretty famous for her antlers that she gives out. So Caramello's gotten some hookups with those. But Caramello is super smart and just a sweetheart. I say that she is the sweetness and I'm the bitter coffee. And so together we make the good team.
Yeah. And that's so interesting that you said one of the episodes of the podcast really kind of inspired you. You know, so we went back and forth sometimes on these conversations, because sometimes clients don't want to share the negative, right? They don't want to paint Leader Dog in a bad light, but that's the reality of the situation. And it happens at every guide dog organization.
Yeah.
We aren't, the only ones where that happens, where a guide dog doesn't work out. And it's for a variety of reasons. But I think it is, like you said, it's so important to share those stories and be realistic with people and set those realistic expectations and let people know it's you're not alone, right?
So I think that the thing that we tend to forget is that which I've learned a lot from working here, is there's so much that goes into even putting a guide dog in someone's hands. And then it could still not work out.
Yeah.
The guide dog could still not want to work, or can't handle when you're traveling and going to different places, which is something I like to do. And so when you have a dog that can't be versatile, or it's just hard to, expect it to be 100%. Honestly, as an employee now, when we have guide dog clients that come from other countries and they've been waiting for so long, I'm praying that it works out for them, because I would hate for them to go home after waiting for, one person that I know of waited for 5 years, and you just hope that is not the case.
Yeah, we want everybody, to be successful and for it to work out. Do you mind telling us a little bit about How did you start to identify that it wasn't working with your previous guide dogs?
With my first guide dog, he was a puller. So this school, I don't know what Leader Dogs does. I honestly don't know. So they would have a level of like walking from 1 to 5. He was a 5. I was a 4. And together we made 4.5. Well, at some point we wound up being 5.5. And it was becoming dangerous. And I didn't feel safe. I was finding myself practicing with him a lot. People told me I was doing more than I needed to. And so I just had to make that decision where I felt like, when you're a team, you both are giving. And I felt like I was managing him more than he was giving to me as a guide dog. And so I had to make that decision. And so when I got my second one from here, I started seeing similar signs, not quite as severe, but it was pretty hard. There was one night I remember talking with my trainer, and he was saying, like, I've been doing this for 20 years. It's not going to get better. And I wanted it to work so bad because I had already started bonding with her. And that night she showed me in every way possible that she didn't want to work. She banged me into door frames, lunged me up steps. I almost fell. She started shaking in the car. And I mean, there were points where I was thinking about putting a thunder jacket on her when we would go flying. And I'm like, that's crazy. Yeah. I need her to work for me. Like, how is that? And so I was really considering her, that she just couldn't handle it. And I didn't want to do that to her or myself. And so I had to make that decision, which was pretty rough. That was a rough decision. It was a mess.
And Amy Rose, I know that's such a difficult decision to make.
Yeah.
For anyone who may be going through that process right now, from your experience, what would you say to them if they're, debating if it's time to retire their guide dog or time to understand that maybe they're not ready to work?
Yeah. Definitely talking with your trainer or if, they're going to know how you two did in class. And I want to say, trust your gut. We sometimes think that it's us. And after working with guide dogs for, 3 years, like, I just knew it wasn't working out. They're to help you to be a tool, to be safe. And if you're starting to not feel safe and you're doing all the steps that you're doing, or you're getting the additional, like, recommendations, because I definitely say be part of a support group. You have to do that. They have to be, they're a benefit to you working, not just your pet. And I think that people kind of get that confused.
Yeah, that can be challenging when you just really want it to work.
Yes.
And you love the dog. That's never the issue. But you're right. We have to keep reminding and saying, is this dog benefiting your life? Yeah. Are they making travel better? Right. And if the answer is no, then we definitely need to have some more conversations.
Yeah.
It's all about safety. I mean, if your dog's not going to keep you safe, it's time to start. I know it's going to be tough. And one day I'm going to have to face that with Glacier, and we all going to have to face that as a guide dog user. So that is important.
Yeah, Timothy and I have gotten to meet because he's now come to campus a couple of times, and our girls have gotten to play together. It's a constant work, but you also know when, and that's what helped me to make that decision to try again, that I have experienced what it feels like when it works. There's nothing like walking down the street with a guide dog and they're just going to pull you out of the way of something. Or just the other morning, we're walking to work. We walk to work in the dark, and there was a runner coming. I didn't hear them. They didn't have anything that made them lit up. And Caramella pulled me to the side, and I had to trust that she knew what she was doing. And that person just ran right past me, and I didn't even notice them until I heard their music coming out of their earbuds. Yeah. So I'm so grateful, because I would have kept going with my cane and probably tripped them. Not that there's anything wrong with the cane. But
I was waiting for that.
Leslie's probably looking at you right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Such important information. And you mentioned that you have Caramella here with you at work. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your journey and how you came to Leader Dog and now work at Leader Dog.
Yeah, when I came for my first guide dog here, it was a small class. So a lot of the people that I were in class with would go to bed early, and I would have conversations with a lot of the resident services folks, and just had some great conversations. There was an O&M intern who used to be a guide dog mobility instructor at different schools at the time here, and we had amazing conversations. And it was something I took for granted going to the School for the Blind as an older student. I hadn't been in that kind of conversation for a long time. And then I went about my way, and then I wanted to work, actually. One of my coworkers got a job towards the end of that guide dog class. Well, and both times that I was here was in the same year. So it was like February of 23, and then I was here in December of 23. So Caramello and I have been a year together, which is awesome. I was here for Caramello, and same thing. Just had some amazing conversations with people, the culture. I knew that I wanted to give back, and I know blindness. So I just kept applying, was encouraged by one of the staff members, and I looked every single day for 3 months. And then I saw the job that I wanted, which is kitchen assistant. I was a produce prep for about 11 years and knew I could be of service somehow, and applied. And 2 weeks later, here I was in Michigan, just from up the road from Ohio. And I started working. And I'm so grateful. I've gotten to meet so many clients. I couldn't tell you how many clients are like, wait, you're blind? Because I let them know every time I introduce myself. I want them to know that they have somebody on the other side who understands. I really am so grateful to my boss who has made things, I'm a Braille reader, and has made things accessible for me. I'm thinking of clients as being a client, and so they're really appreciating all the details that we're starting to implement so they can feel more independent. Because that's our journey here, is to help them to become independent, whether they've just starting out their journey or they're continuing their journey with a guide dog or more advanced O&M skills. I want to make it as comfortable as possible. I want to teach them that it's okay to mess up, but also that they could have all the information that they would like to have so they can be successful.
Well, I can imagine you being a visually impaired client with Leader Dog. You have opened their eyes on some things being that Leader Dog. You be there every day. So can you give us some examples of things that may have changed because of who you are?
One of the things that I've realized is that a lot of the clients, one, they get a lot of information when they first come in. Two, we like to make things very easy for them to just concentrate on their training, but I give them information. So there's a lot of things that are labeled on the Lazy Susan, and I every week, at least once a week, let them know what's there, especially to the guide dog clients, because they're like, oh yeah, I forgot. And I'll tell them what's there, what yummy goodies are there, what creamers, what sugars in the order. Just a lot of things like that, giving information as they come in, telling them what's in their placemat and what's located where. And that just kind of helps. I know that they appreciate it.
I think, as a team member, right, we obviously strive to be as accessible as we can here at this organization, but we can't always bring the perspective, right? And so you being on the team and in that role specifically has helped so many people learn different ways to restructure something or the process to do something different so that it's more accessible to everybody, right? Like we were using some really challenging Excel sheets to do and organize certain schedules and things like that. And everybody was having a hard time deciphering and figuring it out. So coming up with a new solution. So you've really helped not only your team come up and be creative and find different solutions and answers to be more accessible for everybody. But you've also inspired a lot of other team members and other departments here to help do that. And so you're a part of the internal accessibility committee and always bring really good perspective to that. And again, just bringing up so many different conversations and kind of saying like, hey, we're having an all team meeting and we didn't make that accessible for everybody. Yeah. Those are things that we need that feedback. And you have definitely been providing that for us, which is so thankful.
I think the thing that I'm most grateful for is that I've had opportunities to have conversations with clients who have had to go home without a guide dog and how hurtful that feels. And I went home with one, but to know that I try to encourage them that it's better sometimes to go through not getting one than going home and then wondering, what am I doing wrong? Because that's one of the biggest things. Because already, especially if you're a first-time guide dog user, you have no idea what you're doing. I definitely didn't.
Yeah, but sharing your perspective and being a listening ear and saying, there's different ways to look at it or different ways to think of it. Yeah, one way is not worse than the other, but like, here's something else that happened to me, or here's another example of how it didn't work out exactly this way. So just letting people know they're not alone. It is a journey, and it looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
Timothy, you were here recently, and so you got to visit, and so you said that your pups were able to play together and interact a little bit. How do you think, have you noticed changes like in our dining room or in the residence that have become more accessible, or we've been thinking about it in a different capacity because of Amy Rose and other team members and perspectives?
Well, the rooms are being updated. Some of got better chairs in there, that's for sure. They got nice recliners now and stuff. Leader Dog is always taking steps forward. It seems like it's easier now in the dining room since Amy Rose has been there. And so I see what she does, and it's a little bit better now. Back when I was a guide, there for a guide dog, that is for sure. She does a real good job explaining everything to everybody. And so Leader Dog is always never satisfied today. They're always looking for tomorrow. Yeah. And that's what's so good about the organization.
Yeah. And Amy Rose, is there anything that you've learned since being a Leader Dog team member?
Oh, always. From looking at it from an organization that it's like, I've been shadowing in different areas that are different. Like in about a week, I get to shadow handing out puppies.
Nice. I want to do that.
I get to see it.
You get to see it.
It's just like learning from how much effort, how much is going into providing a guide dog, providing O&M skills. It's a lot, from the donations, from what Timothy does and the speeches that he gives and the conversations that he has with donors, from, the Lions weekends we've hosted here, and all these people that are giving of their time, effort, and funds to be able to provide guide dogs and all the different things that we're starting to implement at Leader Dog is huge. I've gotten to meet Jill Goss, who you recently had on your podcast. Yes. And so one of the things that I'm starting to learn is American Sign Language so that I can interact with our deafblind clients.
That's awesome.
As they come into the dining room. Like, I want to continue, as Leader Dog, continue to educate myself and keep moving forward. So that's definitely some of the things
those
that
are
I'm seeing.
Great takeaways. And for those who don't know, we are 100% philanthropically funded. So we get no government funding. We're only funded by private donors and Lions Club. So when she's speaking to all of that stuff with Timothy going out and speaking to donors, I mean, they really help people, our clients, to receive the services. So we couldn't be more grateful for our donors.
I know that Timothy and I are very much thankful for our wonderful guide dogs.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. I think all of us as team members, we learn so much from each other and how much goes into it. I was in a meeting just the other day and learning about the strings of dogs and the number of dogs, and they're already planning for, 2 years down the road. And, I've been at this organization for 10 years and I've heard that here and there, but to sit in a meeting and really hear about the numbers and the tracking and all that's going into it. we work with some really incredible people.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting to learn about everybody. And, from the outside perspective, people don't understand that we're international sometimes and that we are a big organization providing a lot of really wonderful services completely for free.
Yeah.
And so it takes an army to do that. It takes a full team, and everybody on this team, whether it be a team member, a volunteer, or a client, we're all a part of the journey and team together. So, I know we always talk about it like being like a family, and I feel like sometimes we're so corny on it, but it really does, Amy Rose, right? It very much feels that way.
Yeah.
I mean, my team and the kitchen staff, we sit and have meals together because we serve clients. And once we make sure that they're good, we go having our meals. And it's just a wonderful way to stay connected, to be able to continue to give back. And, one of the things that I'm starting to do with my job shares is we're having like a group chat, like, hey, so-and-so needs this, so-and-so is needing a napkin underneath their cup so they can locate it, and these kind of things. And it just keeps the communication going. And people are always saying to us, you make it seem so seamless. Well, there's communication is a big part of that. Just very grateful to be part of a wonderful team. I remember when I first met some of my team members from the kitchen, I just felt like I was like, ooh, I'm going into the inner sanctum. Like, this is so cool. I loved it.
Absolutely.
Yes, and we all know the kitchen is a hot spot.
It is the heart of the organization.
Yes, it is.
Man, if bacon is cooking, you better believe that everybody in this building knows the bacon.
Cookies are being made. We'll have like people sneaking in for a cookie.
Oh my gosh.
Those mint chocolate ones are off the chain.
I'm a Scotcheroos lady. Scotcheroos are where it's at. I crave those. They're so good.
I remember Leslie being here for summer camp asking for Scotcheroos, and that was fun.
Yeah, they're always making them at least during the week of camp. I'm like, everybody, give me the Scotcheroos. I've tried making them at home. So I have the Leader Dog cookbook. I have tried. There's a secret that somebody in that kitchen's not telling because they are never the same. They're not as good. You need to come shadow
the kitchen so you can work with our chef who makes them.
Yes, I do, because I cannot do it the same at home, and they are just my absolute favorite.
No.
Everybody definitely has their thing with the kitchen that's their favorite.
I mean, everything I've ever had. So.
Mile High Taco Pies. The Southwest chicken salad actually is my absolute
Y'all are making me hungry.
favorite. I know, right? I know. Oh my goodness.
I'm booking a flight right now.
Yeah. Amy Rose, thank you so much for joining us and for being our first guest in 2025.
Yeah,
what a great way to kick off. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for all the work that you're doing and being there for clients, right? And being a voice for clients, and also just making our organization better and more accessible every single day. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. We really appreciate it. And thank you, of course, to our listeners for listening to the Taking the Lead podcast. I am Leslie Hoskins with hosts Timothy Cunio and Christina Hepner. We hope you enjoyed learning about Amy Rose and all the incredible work she is doing. Please join us next time as we continue to dive into the world of blindness.
And if you'd like to learn more about applying to our free services at Leader Dog, you can head to leaderdog.org or call us at 888-777-5332. Don't forget, you can reach us at takingthelead@leaderdog.org with any questions or ideas. If you like today's podcast, make sure to hit subscribe and check us out wherever podcasts stream.